UKIP has been one of the main political parties to bring up the issue of border control. While their campaign focused mostly on this topic, and many have considered their rhetoric to be controversial, second-choice candidate for the 2014 European Parliament elections in the Northeast, Richard Elvin, spoke to EU in Northeast about UKIP's stance in this debate.
Is an issue everywhere. It's not so relevant here in the Northeast as it is in other parts of the country, but it will become increasingly more relevant as time progresses. We obviously, whilst we're members of the EU, we have a situation where 500 million people have exactly the same rights as you and I have to live, work and be educated here in England. And we're going to have increasingly more pressure as time goes by.
So do you believe that the Northeast is not attracting as many immigrants as the rest of the country, maybe the south of the UK?
That is the case at the moment, but it is moving northwards. Unfortunately, many of the immigrants believe that the streets of London are paved with gold, so obviously the big rush is to the southeast. There's also a certain amount of immigration which the government forces into other cities such as Sheffield, and then there will be a continuation of the movement north as the south and the Midlands gets more and more crowded. And I think we can see that in the house building policy here in the Northeast. I mean, they're building thousands of new houses here in the Northeast, and we have to ask ourselves who they're building them for, because it's an established fact that the population of the Northeast has not really increased in the last 50 years. It's remained roughly static. But we have this massive house building program, so I'm beginning to wonder where all the people are going to come from. And don't get me wrong, we have absolutely no problem with immigrants whatsoever. This country has been based on immigration over the centuries, and we have a tremendous reputation for welcoming immigrants. We're just saying that a small country like this is so very overcrowded at the moment. We just have a situation where all our public services are creaking at the seams. Schools, hospitals, housing, jobs. There's a huge pressure, and it would seem to make sense that we should have some sort of sensible immigration policy. Our services can't cope, and of course we're getting dissatisfied people as a result of that. And it would be nice to be able to have a moratorium on immigration for a short while, so that all our services could catch up, and then the new immigrants, when they come to the country, would receive the high levels of public services that they would expect to receive.
While opinions might differ based on political orientation, we wanted to find out what people in the Northeast think about EU immigration in the region.
We don't think it's a particular issue in the Northeast.
We welcome them and see them as a positive influence on the whole.
Yeah, and they contribute to the local economy. And we have one of our nieces is married to a Romanian, so we're quite positive about Romania. And this idea that they're all criminals is nonsense. So
crazy.
And it's basically racist.
No, I don't think it is. I think the Northeast has probably benefited from different cultures moving into the Northeast, and I think that although the Northeast is quite a British area in terms of percentages of British people, I think that the effects of immigration into the Northeast have been felt, and I think they're largely beneficial. I think other places an argument could be made that immigration has affected it more, but I think within the Northeast I think we've largely benefited from it.
I don't think it is, because let's be honest, I'm Irish, and Irishmen have gone all around the world, and so I can't turn around and say that any other person hasn't got the right to go and work anywhere. And if they're doing a good job, which I have a lot of Polish fellas work with me and do good work, so I can't see anything wrong with it.